This question was submitted by John Ruman, who's also a patron, and again, related to the tax question, but possibly phrased a different way. So the way he phrased his question was, what is the monthly exemption for taxes for the owner of a sole trader? Well, actually, he has several questions here, so they might be separate things you have to answer. So what is the monthly exemption for taxes for the owner of a sole trader, which you said is not monthly, it's like quarterly?
Yeah, it depends. I wouldn't use the word exemption. I think what he may have been thinking is what is the amount that you could deduct? It depends on your expenses. If my sales are $10,000 a month and I paid $4,000 for stuff, and then it depends on the business, right? He may have been mixing that up with the monthly deduction for an employee. And your government just changed the law. Previously it was $6,000 a month, and now it is $7,000 a month. So it's your monthly deduction is your expenses. I don't know what your business is. I don't know what's the size of your expenses, but you also have a $7,000 a month personal deduction as an individual, as a resident of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, perhaps that's what he was talking about, because he made a statement that said it used to be 6,000 a month,
Correct.
but he heard it increase.
Correct. So
I think that's what he was talking about.
And okay, so now let me put on my glasses so I could get into nerd mode. So the law changed. Our tax system was based on the British model, and it changed more than 10 years ago. And that is when they brought in this personal deduction, and the rates were simplified. And every year, every budget, I used to sit and wait, when are they going to increase this personal deduction? And they finally did it last year. So your personal deduction used to be $6,000 a month. That's $72,000 for the year. Now it has been increased by your government to $7,000 a month, $84,000 for the year. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually means that people who were earning $6,200, $6,400, $6,800 a month, they were paying a little bit of PAY, a little bit of income tax. Now they're paying zero. And sometimes decisions are not made on an annual basis. They're made on a monthly. So you might have $200, $300, $400 more in your pocket at the end of every month. You're happy with that?
Part of his question, so I would want to include this question that he had here. So the first part where he said, what is the monthly exemption for taxes for the owner of a sole trader? And then right after that, he says, and does the owner of a limited liability company get the same amount of exemption?
It depends. Did the person hire me or not? The owner of a company, if that owner is employed by the company, gets the same deduction, because that owner, if he has a good accountant, would be paying himself a salary, and he can pay himself a salary of $7,000 a month and not pay any tax. So yes, that deduction, I think I understand his question more now. The deduction does not, the glasses are working. The deduction does not have to do with whether you're a sole trader or whether you're a company. That deduction is for an individual, a human being, resident in Trinidad and Tobago. So whether you're a sole trader or a company, you're an individual, you have that deduction. And if your company is paying you, yes, you can apply that deduction.
Understood. And his other question is, which wasn't phrased, there's some issue there with the phrasing, but I will read exactly how he has it written, and I'll say what I think he was trying to ask. So he has here, is there a way to set up a business that you own, but you left ownership is kept a secret? So I'm interpreting that he's asking, is there a way to set up a business but the ownership is kept a secret? Which, I mean, I feel like if he wants to know that question, it might not be best for me to say that on my YouTube channel where I'm asking you this, but say what?
I wouldn't use the word secret. But that is one of the benefits of having a company. As a sole trader, is I and I. I am the owner of the business. There's no co-ownership with anybody. It's me. Now I can leave someone to run the business, but they're just a manager, a supervisor, a staff. The responsibility and the risk is still mine. With a company, if I set up a company, I'm the shareholder. I don't have to be there every day. Same thing as a sole trader, but it's even more removed. I can hire, I can have other directors, and I don't have to touch the company. I don't have to walk into the business. I have other directors, I have managers, I have staff. Now, in terms of having your ownership secret, I don't want to quite use the word secret as yet, but that solves it. I could be the owner of a company, and nowhere in that company, you walk into the premises, nothing says Obi-Wan Kenobi. You don't see the name. But Obi-Wan Kenobi owns the company. He has directors. He could be a director. He has people running it, managers, supervisors, staff. That's one of the benefits of having a company. You could be home in Mayaro and your company is running. To get more specific, ownership, for ownership to be secret, the answer now is no. Your government changed the law in the middle of 2019, where the owners of a business had to disclose their ownership. This was a big argument in other countries of the world. Trinidad and Tobago is just late to the party as normal. We now have that piece of legislation. So an owner of a business, of a company, has to document the fact that he or she is the owner, and that has to be registered at the Registrar General's office. And anyone can do a search and identify the owner of a company. Anyone, John Public, can go into the registrar's office, pay their little fee, $40, whatever, and search the company's legal documents and find out who the owner of the business is. So that's why I will say, not anymore, no. You can't keep your ownership secret anymore.
So that's the beneficial ownership letter that we had to do. I believe we had to do it last year.
Correct.
Interesting. You're such a treasure trove of information, Robert. So the last question that I have for you today, we are finished so ahead of schedule, and I don't know if that's exciting for you or not. I don't know if DRA Consulting has any questions for us before we go. But the last question that I have for you is, if someone starts a sole trader business and they're keeping their accounts properly, at what point in your mind would you consider it the threshold where they should hire an accountant? Do you look at it in terms of money the business is making?
Day one. There is no threshold. The worst thing that you could do, I want to say there are two extremes. On this side, angelic accounting, where you want to pay not just your taxes, but you want to, like if you want to donate money to the government. And on this side is evil accounting, where you want to pay $0. You don't want to be on either side. You want to be somewhere in the middle. You want to pay the amount of taxes that you're supposed to pay. When a pipe breaks in my house, I don't fix it. I know nothing about plumbing. That is not my lift. Yes. That is not my lift. I do not fix a pipe that bursts. I don't have that expertise. Similarly, you do not have the expertise to do accounts. The piece of software that we use is an old piece of software that's been updated, and the name of it was MYOB, Mind Your Own Business. Go and do your sole trader stuff. Deal with your customers, sales, purchases, delivery, expand your business. Hire an accountant to do your accounts. Hire a good accountant that will also be able to give you advice and help you grow your business. And hire an accountant that understands the tax laws that could have you pay the minimum amount of taxes that you can pay legally. Legally. I am not talking about ghost gang, invent a building, say that you're purchasing stuff from Colombia, take off a zero of some numbers, go and pay money for an Excel course. This is a real example I'm giving here. Pay money for an Excel course so that you could scan someone's invoice, do your OCR optical character recognition, then take it to Excel and change the numbers, and then produce about 15 invoices for that supplier to reduce your cost. No, I'm not saying any of that. But an accountant who knows the tax laws could minimize your tax burden legally. So I tell my people, there's no threshold. You start a business, hire an accountant. Don't assume that it's going to be your largest expense. Get an accountant that is willing to work with you. You're small, they should charge you a small fee. And as and when your business grows, that accountant's fee should also go up.
So if the person's business is making $3,000 a month, they should hire an accountant.
One time. Because 2 years from now, when they want to get a loan at the bank asks you, where's your personal income tax return? Could I get your latest financial statements? I need 3 years financial statements. The bank always asking you, what are you going to do? Well, I make roti. I can give you 3 years worth of roti. No, I could give you my recipe. No, it doesn't work like that. Hire an accountant. And you could get an accountant at $3,000 a month revenue to say, all right, I'll charge you a little piddling thing. You don't need accounts monthly. You can get your accounts quarterly. It could be $500 a quarter. At the end of the year, it's $2,000. It's something. Your business will never grow unless there's another saying I give people. To be big, you gotta think big, right? And a lot of business people, they're willing to spend in order to expand their business. You don't want to spend and then you can't pay workers and you can't buy stuff, but you know, you can't escape. You ever heard he say you can't escape death and taxes?
I heard it from you.
Right. Well, you could escape taxes if you hire an accountant.